Hendricks when he got 3. You can understand losing those games. He was not the benefactor as much as the other guys were with a ton of run support. He had to pitch early on in the games where the Cubs didn't score a lot of runs.
Blanco leading away from third as the count goes to 2-1 on Belt. We talked with Bruce Bochy about some of the decisions you have to make in compiling your roster for each round of the postseason. And Blanco was one of those guys that might have been on the bubble, but he kept him on the roster because of the various things he can do. He's a good glove man. You can pinch hit with him. He has a little bit of sock from the left side, and he can also run, so you can use him as a pinch runner. In this case, he came off the bench and delivered an RBI double in a spot where he could use a strikeout. Hendricks has Belt at 2-2.
Belt has to find a way to put it in play.
Full count. That one came in at 91, which is about the peak of Hendricks' velocity.
That's his four-seamer that he can ride up and throw up and change the eye level.
This should get a run home. It certainly will. Fowler all the way to the track to take it. So Blanco trots home, and the Giants have cut the deficit in half.
And again, you love to get hits, but that's the next best thing right there. From a time where you gave up 4 runs in the previous 2 innings, you now feel like you're right back in the game. Now it's up to the bullpen to keep it close so you can keep nibbling.
A strike to Buster Posey, who's 0 for 1. See those 14 homers for the year. He went from mid-July to mid-September without clearing the wall. 49 homerless games.
And I'm not so sure a thumb injury didn't contribute to that lack of power. He played through it. Of course, the average still decent, but you mentioned the power outage out in the second half. Of course, all the games that he catches, and just the necessity down the stretch that the Giants had to win.
Here's Bryant to his left, comes up with it, double clutches, but has time. And that's that in the third, but not before. The Giants get off the mat a bit. Down 4-0. They've made it 4-2.
I will follow you ever since you touched my hand. I knew I love you, I love you, I love you. Where you go, I'll follow, I'll follow, I'll follow. You'll always be my true love, my true love, my true love.
Gray skies are gonna clear up. Put on a happy face. Brush off the clouds and cheer up. Put on a happy face. Spread sunshine all over the place. And put on a happy face.
If Buster Posey wanted to save money...
Hey, Lenny.
Hey, Buster.
Got my toothbrush.
He wouldn't live out of his locker.
What are you doing? Doing my socks.
He'd save money with Esurance. Because Buster's a smart person, and smart people get Esurance. Official sponsor of Major League Baseball.
As an official partner of David Ortiz, Marucci Sports is proud to release this limited edition David Ortiz Final Game commemorative bat. Only 5,000 of these handcrafted game models will be produced, with each bat individually numbered and engraved with the final stats from Big Papi's illustrious career. Get your very own bat today for just $129.95 plus shipping. To order, call Big Time Bats now at 866-280-BATS or view online at BigTimeBats.com. Commemorate the historic career of David Ortiz. Order now.
Are you ready to lead armies to victory?
To build a nation and make it prosper like no other.
To create alliances and break them. Are you ready to rule the world?
March of Empires. Start for free now.
Here's George Costas. The Hartford pitching change brings him out of the Giant bullpen. Long before he ever wore a big league uniform, he made his share of visits to Wrigley Field. Grew up in Skokie, Illinois, attended Northwestern, and was a Cub fan as a kid. Comes in here with the Cubs leading his Giants 4-2. Bottom of the third, Addison Russell, Jason Hayward, Javier Baez. In the first 17 innings of this postseason, Baumgartner and Cueto allowed 1 run. First 2 innings of this game, Samardzija yielded 4 and he's out. Here's Crawford. One shortstop throws out the other. Ken Rosenthal is with us tonight. This could be an historic season for the Cubs, and just in case, Joe Madden has his own way of keeping track.
He does, Bob, and he has worked a long time with a sports psychologist named Ken Ravizza. And in the past 2 springs, Ravizza has done an unusual motivational tactic for the Cubs. On a spring training field, he laid out 162 balls, broken down by month, and then added 1 for the wild card game, 5 and 7 and 7 for each potential playoff series. Wanted the players to visualize what was ahead of them. Now this season, at the end of the year, actually last Tuesday, they lined up all the balls from the season. They had them authenticated, score, pitcher of record by the Cubs, lined them all up in the Cubs clubhouse on a circular counter, and had the players see exactly what they had accomplished. There were 103 winning baseballs there, and they still had the blanks, the 5 for the division series, the 7 for the LCS, and the 7 for the World Series that lie ahead.
I wonder if in every case, with the victories so far, they've been the last ball used in the game. That's out of play. And if so, somebody had to climb into the basket to get that ball, which no fan was able to reach, that Javier Baez hit out barely to win it last night.
Bob, I don't know exactly which ball they used, but that ball was returned to Baez last night. So I don't know that that's going to be the one that's marked up. He might want to keep it.
The high point of his career to this point. Why not? Well, the Cubs were, by every objective measure, not just the sentimental favorites, but the best team in baseball this year. And it's not a lightning in a bottle kind of thing. This is a team that's likely to be a contender for several seasons. Hayward wallops one toward right center field, but it's going to be run down by Denard Span. Didn't hit it nearly as hard as I first thought. The math, on the other hand, is daunting. Since the beginning of the wild card era in the mid-90s, 22 teams have won 100 games or more. Only 6 of those 22 have made it as far as the World Series, and only 2 of them, the 1998 Yankees and the 2009 Yankees, won the World Series. It's just such a gauntlet to run through the division series, the LCS, and then the World Series.
Yeah, it is, and there's also not as big of an advantage as there should be for those kind of teams, because you don't have to utilize your whole team with the days off in the postseason. Sometimes 2 pitchers could beat you in a series. You don't need to use your whole staff. So it's just interesting how Madden chose this week, as every manager, when they have rest, how do they take care of that time? They did a simulated game, and they basically took care of some instructional league type go over their plays. You can't really do anything else, but what's given you, and the opportunity that they had was they could rest. And they didn't play a meaningful game, really, for the last 20 or so games, because they clinched it. But taking the edge off yesterday with Lester's performance and that victory will go a long way to resume activity as normal, because Joe Madden said, we're playing 163, guys. We're not changing anything. And that was yesterday. Now this is game 164.
Baez had a rare walk his first time up, strikes out on 3 pitches this time. And Contos has restored some order, at least for the moment. He sets the Cubs down in order in the 3rd.
Geico Motorcycle. Great rates for great rides.
Is your lunch break a race against the clock? You run here, you run there, until everything comes to a screeching halt. Tick, tick, tick. Now is the time for a 5-hour energy protein shot. 21 grams of protein, the energy you need for the rest of your day, and 100 little calories. It's not lunch, it's energy and protein, and a lot faster than fast food. 5-hour energy protein shots. Energy, protein, 100 calories.
This beer is true to its roots. Brewed only in Golden, Colorado, and nowhere else, ever. Coors Banquet. That's how it's done.
Turn the trips you have to take into one you'll never forget. Expedia Plus Rewards. Earn points on over 1 million hotels, flights, and packages.
For a Northside squad in search of redemption, next year is now.
Our Division Series telecast from Wrigley on MLB Network is presented by Geico with Ken Rosenthal and John Smoltz. Bob Costas in Chicago, where the Cubs lead it as we move to the 4th, 4-2. It'll be Hunter Pence, followed by Brandon Crawford, and then Angel Pagan. Pence had a single his first time up. When you look at Hunter Pence, any number of adjectives come to mind. Fluid is not among them. Everything about him seems to be herky-jerky.
Unorthodox, but very good in his unorthodox way.
Yeah, here's an adjective that does apply. Winner. Yeah. Since 2012, in games where he's been in the lineup, the Giants are well over 500. When they've been without him, as they were for a considerable stretch this year when he had a hamstring injury, significantly beneath 500. A little pop, back of the plate, Contreras will take it. Between innings, Ken Rosenthal talked with Joe Madden. Here they are.
Joe, did you see anything different with Kyle that last inning?
Ball was up a little bit. I thought the pitch to Blanco was up. I thought Panic was good hitting. Just hit the ball down the left field line, and then Belt with the sacrifice fly, another good piece of hitting. So I think the one pitch to Blanco would be the pitch you want back.
All right, multiple choice question on your big inning. What did you like best? Baez walk, Hendricks hit, or Baez's base running?
Wow, that's a tough question. I like the opposite field approach too. I like KB's line drive to the right side. I like Contreras' line drive to the right side. I like a lot of that, but you're right. I keep talking about Javi and his baseball acumen and how well he runs the bases. He was trying to push Jason on the first ball. That was hit down the right field side. Then eventually he pushed him on Kyle's hit. He sees things in advance of the moment.
Joe, thank you.
My pleasure, buddy.
Thanks, Ken and Joe, and the Cubs manager backing up your viewpoint about the baseball acumen of young Javier Baez.
It really is unbelievable. I mean, you know, he came on the scene. Everyone was talking about his raw power. I don't know that anybody realized what an incredible all-around player he can become and has for the Cubs. Joe Maddon can utilize more pieces on his board than most teams. They can put players in different spots. He utilizes different weapons, and that's why they had a great year. And I think the interesting thing is he said, I'm going to put my guys in a situation so when the postseason comes, there's no surprises. I mean, Zobrist in left field, Brian at first, Brian in right field, Brian at second. Any of those situations, he was preparing the whole season for this journey, and it's worked out for him.
The 2-2 to Crawford is punched to the left side. Bryant in front of Russell to make the play.
And on the flip side, what I've become to really appreciate since my days of playing were over is what the Giants have inside their clubhouse that you can't measure. It's the Pence that you talked about, his leadership inside. It's the quiet but fierce Bruce Bochy and this personality of a team that never seems to get carried away with the moment. After last night's 1-0 victory, some sentiments were, we got them where we want them, boys. They just have this feeling they're going to win.
Pagan bunts, and Contreras waits for it to trickle foul before picking it up.
And to that point, they haven't lost an elimination game in seems like forever.
Well, they won the first 2 World Championships in this 3 titles in a 6-season run as division winners in the West, but then they won in 2014 as a wild card. Should they lose this game, Bochy might remind them of 2012 when they were down to Dusty Baker and the Cincinnati Reds 2-0 and then won the last 3 games and went on to win the World Series. So they've done it this way and that.
They got that guy right there looming in game 3.
Oh, 0-1 to Pagan, who reached on catcher's interference in the second. In case you're wondering, that's scored as an error for the catcher Contreras, but it is not an official at bat for Pagan. When I was a kid, the announcers would always say, if you're scoring at home, is there anyone who's still scoring at home?
If they are, it's on an iPad.
Take some of the romance out of it. 2 out, nobody on the 1-2 pitch. Lined right back at Hendricks, who recovers to field it. The throw is offline. Rizzo can't hold it. And Pagan is safe, and now they'll have to check on Hendricks.
Yeah, that got him pretty good, and Pagan got down the line really quickly. As you could tell, you could hear the sound live, and we're pretty far up. I'm wondering if it got him at the forearm of his pitching arm at all at any point. We're hoping it got more the stomach area than the arm. As good as his mechanics are, he finishes up pretty good and to put himself in a defensive situation. That ball was hit pretty firmly.
They put the ball back in his glove, and Madden's going to wait for him to take a few tosses just to be sure he's okay to continue. Here's what happened. Right about at belt level. Pagan did get down the line in a hurry. Let's see where it got him. You're right, it looked like the middle of his torso took it more so than the forearm.
Yeah, just
on the pitching side.
Yeah, glancing blow off the arm a little bit. So again, when you're in this situation, of course, Joe Maddon's going to say we don't need any heroes. If you can't perform at the level that it takes for that movement and sinker and command, that's what the discussion they're having right now.
Scored as a base hit. That would be obvious. One more look.
I don't think he's going to continue beyond.
Well, he's coming out of the game. Little fist bump from Wilson Contreras. Deprived of the chance for a victory. Leaves leading 4-2, but without having pitched the requisite 5 innings to qualify for the victory. That's a far less concern than his availability for the rest of the postseason. Travis Wood is going to come out of the bullpen. Versatile reliever, sometimes used to get a single left-handed hitter out, but he can give you length. And that's what Joe Maddon wants here, and obviously he'll have as much time as he needs to get ready because he's coming in as a result of the injury to Hendricks. Back to Wrigley after this.
Geico Motorcycle. Great rates for great rides.
Today we're going to be comparing these two truck beds. Let's start over here with this aluminum bed. Put your toolbox up here.
Whoa, that's a big hole. That is unbelievable.
Now let's check out the roll-formed steel bed of the Silverado. Same spot, same empty toolbox.
Took it way better. The steel held up.
It's Truck Month. Find your tag and get over $11,000 total value on this Silverado All-Star. Or now through October 10th, get 0% financing for 72 months on all 2016 Silverado pickups.
We're going to prove just how wet and sticky your current gel antiperspirant is. Now, we're going to show you how Degree Dry Spray is different. Degree Dry Spray. Degree. It won't let you down.
When Wendy's remodeled their grilled chicken sandwich, marinating the chicken led to overhauling the bun with 7 grains, and so on and so on. Because Wendy's wouldn't stop improving until the new grilled chicken sandwich was deliciously different. And for a limited time, get the combo for just $5.
Plenty of closers have fastballs touching triple digits. But what set Mariano Rivera apart was his ability to deliver when it mattered most. At The Hartford, we share that same commitment to our customers, helping over 1 million small business owners prevail when the pressure's on.
Our latest Hartford pitching change brings Travis Wood on. He is the longest tenured Cubs player, completing his 5th season in Chicago, so it shows you what kind of overhaul has taken place here. Theo Epstein guiding them from a team that lost more than 100 games 4 years ago to a team that won 103 this year and is the favorite to make it to the World Series.
Well, StatCast is going to show us what Mr. Hendricks was feeling. StatCast, powered by Amazon Web Services, talks about the exit velocity right here, almost 94 miles an hour. So that reaction time, even though 60 feet away, this ball got on him in a hurry. Kyle Hendricks is known for lower exit velocity throughout the year, but that one cost him an opportunity to pitch in this game.
So Contreras drapes an arm over the shoulder of Travis Wood. Young catcher, veteran pitcher, who inherits a 4-2 lead and a man at first base with 2 out on the top of the 4th. And will face Connor Gillespie.
Well, they're not missing much when Wood comes in as far as another athlete, because he can handle the bat. And with all the left-handers that the Giants have in the lineup, you look for Wood and Montgomery to play a big role after the right-handers.
It was Gillespie, of course, with the winning homer on Wednesday night at Citi Field. after Noah Syndergaard had battled Madison Bumgarner on equal terms for so long deep into that game. And afterwards, here's what Syndergaard said. Baseball has a way of ripping your heart out, stabbing it, putting it back in your chest, and then healing itself just in time for spring training. He must have been channeling the late baseball commissioner and man of letters A. Bartlett Giamatti, who once said pretty much the same thing, although Giamatti may have said it a bit more elegantly. Syndergaard had the idea.
Well, he pitched unbelievable in that game, and that 3-run homer, the reason Gillespie was able to even hit that 3-run homer is because the guy on deck, Panic, was able to foul off an incredible pitch and work a walk, which made it first and second, and now they got a pitch to Gillespie. If he doesn't work the walk, they're going to walk Gillespie, make Bruce Bochy make a decision about Bumgarner, more than likely pinch hit, and the scenario could have played out much differently.
2-2. Speaking of Bumgarner as a hitter, during batting practice tonight, he hit one off the scoreboard at the back of the bleachers in left center.
Well, he put on a little show. I was watching that show, and he watched a lot of them after he hit them.
Well, he'll get his chance to swing the bat again on Monday at AT&T. Full count, and Pagan, one of their speediest base runners, will be off with the pitch.
Fastball touching 94 out of Wood here with the adrenaline in the postseason.
Rizzo behind Pagan, who takes off, and a called strike 3. Alan Porter punches Gillespie out, and the Cubs are out of the top of the 4th, but they lost their starter in the process.
Modern life deserves a modern way to pay. Hey, help. Dude. You can use it online and on your phone.
Master passed it. XXXXL. That's sweet.
Coming in for the save. Thank you. Priceless.
Want a napkin?
MasterPass, the secure way to pay from your bank. Don't just buy it, MasterPass it.
I'm Ryan. Ryan, nice to meet you. I'm John.
Elena.
Nice to meet you.
Where's the rest of the car?
This is the new 2017 Chevy Cruze. I'm only going to show you half of it. What do you think? I think it looks very sleek.
The lights remind me of Audi lights, which is pretty neat.
I'm really curious to see the rest of the car if I get to.
It has built-in 4G LTE Wi-Fi.
Like that.
It comes with Apple CarPlay compatibility, and it starts at $22,190.
Nice. That's a great price.
I'm impressed.
But there's another side to this car.
Oh, wow.
Theron loves it.
This is the first ever Chevy Cruze hatch.
Wow.
Well, that's impressive.
So check it out.
There's got a lot of space.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I do like it a lot.
What's your first impression of seeing the whole car now?
Looks good from all angles.
It actually reminds me of like a small SUV.
Let's see what we got in here. This is probably a tent. Shuttlecock, anybody? You want to go in the lake, Ryan?
Yeah, let's go.
Now that you know it's a hatchback, what does it make you think of?
Me, I want to drive it. Like a young professional / weekend warrior. The whole business in the front, party in the back sort of thing.
This is Lynchburg, Tennessee. This is how many people were born here. This is how many are named Hiawatha Kitty McGee. This guy keeps the town dry. These guys would prefer it a little wet. This many are proud of what we make here. This is how many will go around bragging about it. This is our town. For 150 years, the home of Jack Daniels. If you can't get here, just look for one of our postcards. They look like this.
Hey, man, why aren't you streaming my game?
Hey, Bryce. I can't. Yeah, I've got Verizon and I've already reached my data limit.
You know this is the postseason, right?
Yeah,
You could be missing a classic.
You're killing me, man, but look, more data would cost me a fortune.
What if I just hit a walk-off bomb?
Nah, you didn't.
Did you? Why pay more for data limits? Introducing T-Mobile One. Unlimited data for everyone. Get 4 lines, just $35 a month. Welcome to Unlimited Baseball.
T-Mobile One lets MLB fans, even a little guy like that, dig into the game with unlimited LTE data. Show us how you're baseball's #1 fan by using #UnlimitedBaseball for a free MLB Shop gift code and the chance to win tickets to every 2017 World Series game. With an update on Kyle Hendricks, here's Ken Rosenthal.
Bob, the ball caught him in the forearm, and as he was trying to warm up and throw some pitches there, it started tightening up on him. So the Cubs didn't want to take a chance. That's why they removed him from the game.
And replaced him with Travis Wood, who is now on deck. George Contos worked a perfect third in relief of Samardzija. Contreras had a single his first time up. Part of a 3-run Cubs second. And the 1-1 pitch to him. Check swing foul. Contreras hit the first pitch he saw in the major leagues for a pinch hit homer over the ivy in straightaway center field here at Wrigley. That was back in June. He has a brother who's a catcher in the Braves minor league system. He's from Venezuela. Grounds it to third. Gillespie throws him out. Between innings, Ken Rosenthal was over in the other dugout to talk with Bruce Bochy.
Bruce, with Hendricks coming out of the game for a left-hander, how does that affect the way you use your bench going forward?
Well, I mean, we're a little tight here with the bench, but you know, we got right-handers ready to go. You know, when they made the change there, I got to hold ground here. You probably see Bumgarner hit next inning.
All right, now your bullpen, we're not going to see Bumgarner there, but what might you do the rest of the way? You've got a rested group.
Yeah, we do, and we'll match it up. We have plenty of innings down there, so we're fine. We have some guys that actually need some work. Try to get this inning out of George, and then we'll piece it together.
Bruce, thanks.
You got it.
Well, that is the risk you run on live television when you run something on tape. He mentioned Madison Bumgarner. Well, Travis Wood just hit the 10th home run of his career. He is third among active pitchers. Bumgarner is first with 14. Giovanni Gallardo has a dozen, and that's 10 for Travis Wood, and that's 5-2 for the Cubs.
I said you weren't missing much when Wood comes in at the plate and an athlete, and he delivered as a reliever. I think the hardest thing to do as a reliever in the postseason is check in. He not only checked in on the mound, he checked in at the plate and getting a standing O.
Check to see if he missed first base.
They were hoping he was so excited that he would just walk over the bag looking at the ball that he hit.
Well, he's hit a few before, so doubtful that he'd missed the bag. Well, he got every bit of this, and he knew it. And he touched first. Dexter Fowler now with a high fly ball to right. Pence a couple of steps back to put it away. (5-2) Cubs looking to take a 2-0 lead in a best-of-5 series. Back to the point that you were making. No matter how any of these division series turn out, it isn't logical to have the first round be best-of-5 and then the LCS and World Series be best-of-7 when the first round is the only one guaranteed to include the wild card survivor and the third best division winner. And a best-of-5 obviously is subject to a more fluky result than a best-of-7, especially when you throw in potentially 2 off days out of 5. Bumgarner has got a bat. Bochy mentioned that possibility to get a chance perhaps to see if he can match what Wood just did. So that might be something that baseball will take a look at in upcoming years. both the owners and the players have reason to consider shortening the regular season. Even if you cut it back to just say 158, you provide a little breathing room. The schedule's too jam-packed, players are tired, too many back-to-back games, cross-country trips on getaway days. Swing and a miss by Bryant. If you did that, and then you made the first round best out of 7, potentially you'd add 8 more playoff games when you combine the 2 leagues for network television, and that's shared revenue. But more important, it would make that first round more legitimate. And my thought would be that when the team with the best record plays the wild card team, instead of 2-3-2, go 2-2-3 and further advantage the team that was best over the course of the long season.
Well, there's no doubt that when you see the numbers, only 2 teams have won the championship with the best record out of 22, that 100-win season, that's an alarming number. You could understand if it was half or 40%, but only 2 definitely makes that point that some things are not the same as a 162-game schedule, and the postseason can be more flip a coin.
Bryant with a line drive that is caught at short by Brandon Crawford. Well, the highlight of the inning was Travis Wood going deep. And a happy Cub fan triumphantly lifting the ball skyward. 5-2 Cubbies.
Are you tired of interacting with other people in the car? Well, thanks to the Uconnect Theater, you don't have to.
Want to do all your video games right from here? Nope.
Current owners or lessees of FCA or competitive vehicles finance and get $2,000 total cash allowance on the all-new Chrysler Pacifica.
Can you spot the Lee man?
Coffee, anyone?
He works hard until he says,
That's enough. Time to have fun.
and then he crushes having fun so freaking hard. His Lees aren't just jeans to him, they're freedom pants. Every little fiber just cheering him on like, go kill it, Eric, you're the guy. And he likes that. That's why he married a Lee woman. Move your Lee.
If Buster Posey wanted to save money...
Hey, Lenny. Hey, Buster. Got my toothbrush.
He wouldn't live out of his locker.
What are you doing? Doing my socks.
He'd save money with Esurance. Because Buster's a smart person, and smart people get Esurance. Official sponsor of Major League Baseball.
When Wendy's remodeled their grilled chicken sandwich, marinating the chicken led to overhauling the bun with 7 grains, and so on and so on. Because Wendy's wouldn't stop improving until the new grilled chicken sandwich was deliciously different. And for a limited time, get the combo for just $5.
We're back, and she's found herself in the broker's office reviewing quarterly returns. How's she doing, Rich?
She's got it all under control. Wait, that's it? But Bob, she hasn't asked about those fees.
Oh, you know, one last thing. How do your fees work?
Oh, what a recovery. This one's not over, folks. She's back in the driver's seat.
Are you asking enough questions about the way your wealth is managed? Wealth Management at Charles Schwab.
Whether you're wearing layers, beads, stripes, or cheese. If you bleed blue, black and yellow, purple, or various shades of red, this is your beer.
This Division Series telecast on MLB Network is brought to you by Bud Light. Raise one to right now. Sponsored in part by Charles Schwab. Own your tomorrow. And by Wendy's. Well, look who's in the on-deck circle. Madison Bumgarner will be next as Travis Wood works on Joe Panik, who had a double his first time.
I don't know about Mr. Wood, and I've never done it in the postseason, but I was not very good when I was fortunate enough to hit a home run in a regular season game. My next inning pitching was not what I wanted it to be.
Did it change your focus?
Oh my gosh, I was so excited. It's like getting a hole-in-one in golf. Like, you don't expect to ever hit a home run, at least I didn't. So you got to get back to pitching. And you got to get back to just honing yourself in. Can't imagine hitting a home run in a postseason game.
Turns out Wood is the third Cub pitcher to do it. Rick Sutcliffe did it here at Wrigley in 1984, and Kerry Wood in Game 7 in 2003 against the Marlins. Those, however, were part of the two most heartbreaking Cub postseason defeats in what amounts to close to recent memory. They had the 2-0 lead on the Padres in what was then a best-of-5 LCS, and it slipped away. And they had the 3-1 lead on Florida, and it all slipped away in catastrophic fashion. Games 6 and 7 here at Wrigley. After falling behind in the count, Wood comes back to get Panic looking.
Well, just to make the further point about Wood, Madden has used him in left field in the platoon situation in a couple extra inning games, and he's going to take that to spring training, identify 2 relievers that he will utilize in a game where he loves the strategy of bringing in a right-hander and a left-hander without having to make that many changes.
So Bumgarner, 186, but with 3 homers and, as you see, 9 RBIs. You know what both he and Wood are thinking.
I'm telling you, Bumgarner and BP. Normally you take BP, you hit a ball, and you get another one thrown about 5-10 seconds later.
He hit it hard. It's off Bryant's chest. Does he have time to recover? He throws it away. It went into the dugout, so Bumgarner takes second.
Ball was absolutely squared up. I think he might have even grunted. That ball takes a bat hop on Bryant. He gets it, and as he throws it, it sails. See how ball just sails into the runner. Good throw would have got Bumgarner.
Technically 2 errors on the play. An error on the ball off the bat, and then a second error when Bryant threw it away to allow Bumgarner to advance to second.
See the breaking ball? That's one of the toughest pitches, I think, for an umpire to call. Goes through the zone. Do you call it where it goes through the zone, or where the catcher catches it?
Ground ball to second. Baez on one knee throws him out. Bumgarner over to third.
So the point I was going to make, just to finish it up, he would hit a home run, wait, watch it, and BP. Then he would get another throw, and he did this about 7 different times, because I counted 7 home runs, including the one you said that he hit the scoreboard here. When you're not pitching, there's nothing more fun than taking BP as a pitcher.
Here's Belt, grounded out, had a long sacrifice fly. Baez way back on the outfield grass in shallow right. Wood from the first base side of the rubber. Belt with a fly ball to right. Hayward going back to the edge of the track to put an end to the Giant fifth. Bumgarner is stranded at third, and it's 5-2 Chicago.
After dark we come. The brave shirts and the still in work shirts, united against all dress codes. The glow gals, illuminated by 1,000 likes. The lords of the playlist. The careless dancers. The coat check skippers. The midnight feasters. And the last train sprinters. We are the night.
box, you'll be the first to win PlayStation VR. Player one. Soon, it spreads like wildfire. Humanity becomes so plugged in, we never see them coming. That's why I was sent back to stop you.
Oh, hey, I won.
Right.
The future of gaming starts at Taco Bell. Grab any $5 box and you could be one of the first to win PlayStation VR.
You owned your car for 4 years. You named it Brad. You loved Brad. And then you totaled him. You two had been through everything together. 2 boyfriends, 3 jobs. You're like, nothing can replace Brad. Then Liberty Mutual calls. And you break into your happy dance.
If you sign up for Better Car Replacement, we'll pay for a car that's a model year newer with 15,000 fewer miles than your old one. Liberty stands with you. Liberty Mutual Insurance.
When I was younger, I didn't want to admit I had a serious disease. I wanted to fit in. I wanted to be a normal kid. Because of my diabetes, I lost the sight in my left eye. Misconceptions continue to surround this monster public health issue. But the simple truth is, diabetes can often be prevented and complications avoided. I think if I had just been open and honest about what my challenges were, I think it would have been easier for me to take better care of myself. If you don't take care of yourself when you're younger with this condition, it will catch up to you later on. You're going to find the courage to manage this disease for the rest of your life by reaching out for help. Reach out to people who care about you, reach out to people who know how to help you with this disease. You're not alone. Understand the realities of diabetes and know that you can manage it and lead a full, active life.
3 Division Series games tomorrow. Begins with the Dodgers and Nats, who were rained out today. They'll play game 2 at 1 o'clock Eastern time, FS1. Then Indians and Red Sox at Fenway on TBS at 4 Eastern, and the Rangers and the Blue Jays at 7:30 Eastern time, also on TBS. This is rookie left-hander Ty Blach out of the bullpen for the Giants as the Cubs come up in the bottom half of the 5th with Rizzo, Zobrist, and Russell to face him. Bloch's last outing was a week ago, second to last game of the regular season, and all he did was throw 8 scoreless innings against the Dodgers and Clayton Kershaw. The Giants won the game 3-0, and they needed it. They barely got by the Cardinals to grab the second wild card spot. And then, of course, they had Bumgarner ready. They were able to win that game at Citi Field and get themselves here to Chicago. Rizzo rolls it weakly to the left side, and he becomes the first out in the 5th.
I can imagine just giving him the news. Hey, kid, we need you to start. All right. You're going against Kershaw. Well, to your point, he pitched brilliantly and made the San Francisco Giants, those last 4 games, so important as they battled with the Cardinals. I think sometimes it can go either way. On the West Coast, when the East Coast team is trying to chase you down, you get to see what they do more than likely before you get to play.
Which is why it's such a good idea. And Tony Petitti, who used to run the Major League Baseball Network and now is a lieutenant for Commissioner Rob Manfred, it was his idea to start all the games on the last day of the season at the same time, 3 o'clock Eastern time, so that you wouldn't have a situation where a team had no incentive if they already learned that a team they were hoping would lose had won and they'd been eliminated. All the games playing out simultaneously. Let's check in with Ken.
Guys, on Block, Madison Bumgarner, in between hitting home runs during batting practice, told me a funny story about him. He said that every time Block comes into a game and prepares to start, he looks like he's scared to death. But Bumgarner just smiled and said he doesn't pitch like it.
And you know what? He doesn't hit like it either, because in addition to out pitching Clayton Kershaw a week ago, he got 2 hits off Kershaw in that game as well. So taking after Bumgarner, effective left-handed pitcher who can also swing the bat. Zobrist has an RBI single, and he's popped out. Had a big October as a member of the Royals. Got himself a World Series ring. Was in the postseason 4 times, playing with Joe Madden in Tampa Bay. Made the World Series once in 2008, lost it to the Phillies. Now playing in October as a Cub and taking a seat, called out on strikes.
This is just a perfect pitch. You see, maybe catches the corner right there. You keep putting pressure. You keep hitting your spots. Not only put pressure on the hitter to decide whether it's a strike or not, but the umpire.
Addison Russell, a pair of groundouts. You know, just about everybody knows the Cubs have not won the World Series since 1908. And many people know they haven't been in the World Series since 1945. That is a fair ball and a heck of a play by Gillespie, and a long throw to get him. Wow, what a play. And the little history lesson must be held for a little while. Take a look at this into foul territory. And just in time to get Russell. Sparkling play by Gillespie, and more on Cub history when we come back.
Where'd he go?
How's it going? I don't want being followed.
Jack Reacher, Purple Heart, Silver Star, I need your help. Someone's killing soldiers from your old unit.
It's time to start hunting.
Maybe Reacher's getting too close.
Maybe I rip your arm off and beat you to death with it. You think you're above the law, but I'm not the law.
Jack Reacher in IMAX October 21st. Rated PG-13.
This beer is tough. But fair. Coors Banquet. That's how it's done.
If Buster Posey wanted to save money, he wouldn't live off Skybox chicken.
Why's the chicken in the hat?
He'd save money with Esurance, because Buster's a smart person, and smart people get Esurance. Official sponsor of Major League Baseball.
The guy was a legend on the field. He poured everything he had into this game. You gotta wonder what he's doing on game day now.
Guys, cupcakes are ready.
Ooh, cupcakes?
Better game days call for better pizza.
Now get 2 medium, 2 topping pizzas for just $6.99 each. Try our new cinnamon pull-aparts for just $6.
Better ingredients.
Better pizza.
Papa John's.
Modern life deserves a modern way to pay.
Hey, help. Dude.
You can use it online and on your phone.
Masterpassed it. XXXXL.
That's sweet.
Coming in for the save.
Thank you.
Priceless.
Want a napkin?
Masterpass, the secure way to pay from your bank. Don't just buy it, Masterpass it.
The 2016 postseason is here. MLBShop.com has you covered. On-field tees, hoodies, jerseys, caps, and more. Get your team's official gear now at MLBShop.com.
Bill Murray here again as he was last night, whooping it up between innings with his team in front 5-2 and perhaps on the verge of taking a 2-0 lead in the series. Such a Cub fan that he named one of his sons Homer Banks Murray. New pitcher for the Cubs. It's Carl Edwards. Lean 25-year-old right-hander, 6'3" and 170. Facing Buster Posey as the Giants bat in the 6th.
Yeah, if you're at home thinking you can develop or know how to throw a baseball 98 miles an hour, size is not always the issue. This is genetics right here. Wiry 98-mile-an-hour fastball with a good curveball and slider.
Posey managing only a weak wave at that, 1-2.
Edwards has really added to the depth of what became and now is one of the best bullpens in baseball with the Cubs, adding Chapman.
You got Edwards, you got Strop, you got Rondon, and then Chapman to put the finishing touches on it, as he did last night.
You saw that curveball right there for Posey, who's about the quietest hitter on the Giants, trying to get ready for 96, 97 miles an hour. Almost fooled into swinging at that breaking ball.
Larry Vanover at first said he didn't go. And the 2-2. Rolled toward Russell. He scoops it up and throws Posey out. You can experience every postseason moment with MLB.com at bat. At bat, the #1 app for live baseball. It's the only place to get it all. Live radio feeds, video highlights, pitch tracking, StatCast, and much more. Download MLB.com at bat today. Official caps, t-shirts, hoodies, jackets, and more. Celebrate your favorite team with the latest postseason gear at MLBshop.com. Hunter Pence is 1 for 2. So prior to the last commercial break, I was making the point that many fans know that the last time the Cubs were in the World Series was 1945. They lost in 7 to Hank Greenberg, Prince Hal Newhouser, and the Detroit Tigers. What many may not know was that between their last World Championship in 1908 and their last appearance in the World Series in 1945, they were in the series 7 times and lost all 7 of them. Once to Babe Ruth and the Red Sox in 1918. Back to the mound. Edwards knocks it down. Underhand flip, 2 out. That ended a long run of early 20th century success for the Red Sox and began their own curse, which wasn't finally broken into 2004. They also lost a couple of times to the then Philadelphia A's, Connie Mack's team. They lost a couple of World Series to the Tigers in 35 and 45. And they twice lost to Babe Ruth and the Yankees. Actually, second time Ruth was no longer with the Yankees, 1938. But in 1932, they were swept in the World Series, and that was the series that included the famous Babe Ruth called shot here at Wrigley Field.
Well, what's so impressive to me about the Cubs this year is the hype they had before the season. They've lived up to it. What Theo Epstein has been able to do and build this organization around young, everyday players instead of going with the dynamic power arms, he's got veteran arms in his rotation.
Look out.
So what the Cubs addressed is they addressed every need they had this year, and they have really accomplished every goal. Can you imagine Theo Epstein doing what he did at the Red Sox and then what you just laid out and be able to come here and do it with the Cubs? I don't think it gets any better than that.
Crawford with a 2-out hit. His first base knock of the night. By the way, x-rays were taken on Kyle Hendricks. They have come back negative. Good news for the Cubs. Pagan the hitter, Contreras to the mound, Chris Baggio, the pitching coach, coming out of the dugout to join the conference.
Just to piggyback on the Theo Epstein situation, you know a lot of his draft choices are still with the Red Sox. A lot of guys in the All-Star game were his draft choice. He has not missed. If you think about it, going all the way back to some of the guys that he's drafted with this organization, they've come up, they've delivered, they can play multiple positions. It's a credit to their whole system for being able to identify, go, get, sign, and produce. And they all are doing it in a credible way.
Well, the guy on the mound for the Cubs right now, Carl Edwards Jr., is one of many Epstein acquisitions. And with more on Edwards, here's Ken.
Bob, he's a former 48th round pick by the Texas Rangers out of Prosperity, South Carolina. On workout day, he was so excited. He got up at 8:30 a.m. even though the Cubs weren't working out until much later in the day. His parents are staying with him. His dad was not awake when Carl got up, but Carl said that this is like when he was in Little League, being in the playoffs for the first time. Back when he was in Little League, he'd wake up at 6 a.m., get dressed for a 9 o'clock game. He's 25 now, but it's his first appearance in the postseason, as I said, and he's just as excited.
That innocence, that exuberance puts a smile on your face just hearing about it. Pagan reached on catcher's interference and then singled. Technically 1-for-1. Edwards 1-0 pitch. A chance for Russell. The flip to Baez, and that's that. The Cubs come up in the 6th. They took the lead early, and they still hold it 5-2.
Turn the trips you have to take into one you'll never forget. Expedia Plus Rewards. Earn points on over 1 million hotels, flights, and packages.
With dynamic performance to help you hold the curve and bold styling to stay ahead of the curve. The Lexus RX, RX Hybrid, and RX F-Sport. This is the RX Elevated. This is the pursuit of perfection.
He's pretty much guaranteed to never drop the ball. And with the Fairfield 100% guarantee, you know that we'll never drop the ball either. We promise you'll be satisfied, or we'll make it right. That's our commitment to you, because you're our #1 priority. The Fairfield 100% guarantee. Fairfield Inn & Suites by Marriott.
When Wendy's remodeled their grilled chicken sandwich, marinating the chicken led to overhauling the bun with 7 grains, and so on and so on. Because Wendy's wouldn't stop improving until the new grilled chicken sandwich was deliciously different. And for a limited time, get the combo for just $5.
King me.
This must be how Odell Beckham feels when he scores a game-winning touchdown.
This must be how Rico felt when he triple jumped Mr. Sanchez. Pepsi.
Giants are about to make a run here. That guy is Bumgarner. Hunter Pence doing it pretty impressive. Giants do such a great job of winning those close games.
Full slate of Division Series games on Monday. 2 of them on TBS. Jim Cott and I will be at Dodger Stadium for Game 3 of the Nats and the Dodgers. And it concludes with Game 3 of this series from AT&T Park. Arrieta against Bumgarner on FS1. Cubs come up in the 6th. Ty Blott still on the mound for the Giants. Hard ground ball foul off the bat of Hayward. You look at the teams in the postseason. The Red Sox and the Giants have each won 3 World Series in the early portion of this century. But the Cubs haven't won since early in the last century. And the Indians haven't won since 1948. And the Dodgers haven't won since 1988. And the Blue Jays haven't won since 1993. The Nationals have never won in franchise history if you count the Expos, which is the genesis of that franchise. That goes back to 1969. And Texas, which traces its history back to the Washington Senators of 1961. The Rangers, though they've been to the World Series, they have never won. So the Nats and the Rangers are franchises that have never won. And it's been a while for the Blue Jays, the Dodgers, and the Indians. Hayward down on strikes to start the Chicago sixth, and Bochy out to make a pitching change. Locke did a good job while he was in there. Santiago Casilla, who once was their closer and lost that particular job, coming on.
First, there's shaving, blades, sharp and precise. Then Gillette shielding, comfy lubrication before and after. And also cooling. Ooh, got goosebumps. Gillette Pro Shield Chill with lubrication before and after the blades. Shields and cools while you shave. Pro Shield Chill from Gillette, the best a man can get. Pro Shield, available with or without chill.
Heineken Light makes it okay to flip another man's meat.
No. You never flip another man's meat.
Award-winning Heineken Light is the best light beer you've ever tasted.
That's true. Can I have one?
Can I flip your meat?
No.
Suit yourself.
What if we designed a paint that not only made your bathroom look like a spa, but stood up to the humidity of a shower this steamy, yep, even this one. If it's a matte finish paint and can resist any amount of moisture, is it still paint? Find Aura Bath and Spa, only at your Benjamin Moore retailer.
King me.
This must be how Odell Beckham feels when he scores a game-winning touchdown.
This must be how Rico felt when he triple jumped Mr. Sanchez.
Pepsi.
America, all through October, the DQ $5 lunch is now available all day long. Entree, fries, and a drink, plus a world-famous DQ sundae. So buy a DQ $5 lunch and have lunch's best deal all day long. Let $5 freedom ring.
Santiago Casilla, in his 13th season in the majors at age 36, from the Dominican Republic, faces Javier Baez, who was walked and struck out, and gets into this one, drives it to deep left, and it's in play off the wall, sprinting for second and diving headlong to make it. Baez with a double.
Well, he paid for it there at the end.
Yeah, he sure did.
Coming out of the box, he thought this was a home run and had such topspin on it that he had closing speed to get to second, but sliding into first, he paid the price.
Baez is a wonderful young player. So this is a general thought. But so many players think a ball is out. What's the harm in running hard until the umpire gives the signal? Then you don't find yourself in a situation where either A, you're out when you shouldn't be, or B, you're nearly out and you have to risk injury by diving like this.
He thought he crushed it right there. He put his head down similar to yesterday. And then, of course, last minute and the head first slide. Panic trying to apply the tag, and he did.
Yeah, I think it's the tag that got him, right?
Right
it's
into the leg and the head.
Right, into the leg. And then the tag on top of it. Boom, boom.
Well, a lot of people don't like the head first slide unless it's avoiding a tag in a scenario, but there, we'll feel that tomorrow.
Astute baseball people, yourself included, his manager Joe Madden, rightly praise his baseball instincts, his feel for the game. In this particular case, it's a mistake that so many players make. Why not just run until you're sure? And they're going to take a look at this to see whether or not the ball might have cleared the wall, I guess. In the postseason, you're allowed 2 challenges. This would be the first that either club has used.
I think they're going to look here, Bob, at the slide to see if the tag, if any point of his body
if he came off the bag.
Because he comes up just for a fraction. You see him slide into the bag, and then when he comes up, look what his hand comes off the bag, and there's a separation between his body and the bag.
Yeah, that could be it.
They teach you now with this replay, it wasn't intended for these kind of scenarios, right? When you slide in and come up a fraction off the bag, but now every infielder is taught, keep the tag on him throughout the entire slide. Obviously safe right there, and then when he comes up, that's going to be the difference.
And you and I have talked about this several times. He's out. He's out because he came off the bag for a millisecond. Technically, it's the right ruling because the rule is in place. But this has nothing to do with why replay was instituted. It had nothing to do with correcting a play like that. There's really nothing to correct.
Yeah, and in this case, this was just a combination of, again, getting there late, sliding in head first, popping into Panic, and then Panic doing the right thing by holding the tag. That'll turn into a single now.
Yep. Single, then he's out 7-4. And smarting in more ways than one. Contreras at the plate, 2-0. He's very concerned about his parents who are still in Venezuela. Started to mention this earlier. He's moved them to the safest possible area, an area where they have round-the-clock security guards, and they actually have their groceries delivered to the door so they don't have to go out. Those who are close to people who have some wealth, like ball players, are subject to kidnappings in Venezuela. It's a significant problem. The country itself is in turmoil. And so he's very concerned about his parents and hopeful of moving them to the United States as soon as feasible. Casilla blew 9 saves this year, tied for most in the majors. So Sergio Romo is now their closer once again by default because Casilla simply couldn't do the job.
And unfortunately for the Giants, this was a big part of their second half swoon. They didn't score a ton of runs, but they weren't holding games. They blew a lot of saves.
Line drive, Crawford can't get it.
So here's a scenario last night that rewarded Baez for a home run. He absolutely crushes this ball. Watch the similarities. He knows it's gone, takes his time. Unfortunately, it only cleared it by an inch, or fortunately it did. In this scenario, same scenario where he thinks it's gone. Tonight was a different story, though. The ball did not leave the ballpark. You see right there, Pagan says if that screen's not there, I'm catching this ball. But Baez, 2 straight nights, 1 a homer, 1 just short, and then the out at second base.
Miguel Montero now to pinch hit for Carl Edwards. Joe Madden has 3 catchers on his roster. Contreras starting tonight. Montero pinch hitting here. And David Ross playing his last handful of games he hopes will take him all the way to the World Series, is the 3rd catcher. He caught Lester last night, as he almost always does. You know, there are all-time greats who, when they retire, there's kind of a tour and they're celebrated not just at home but on the road. It's happening to David Ortiz this year. It happened to Jeter and others like him. And then there are just solid baseball citizens like David Ross, and they get a tip of the cap, perhaps in a in a less ostentatious way, but it happens. And here's what happened in a late season game against the Cardinals. Lester was pitching, and Madden went to the mound, and Ross joined the conference and said, "What are you doing here?" Lester's doing fine. He's only thrown about 85 pitches. He said, "I've come to take you out of the game so you can get the ovation you deserve." And that's what happened here at Wrigley Field. He took the catcher out of the game in the middle of the inning so the fans could salute him.
It's been an incredible year for him, and certainly the emotions of the celebration here in his final home game that he wasn't expecting. But he is so intense when he's catching his pal and teammate John Lester. He's also had influence on the young catcher Contreras, and he has said what a unbelievable weapon his arm is and the tools that he has behind the plate.
Contreras at first with 2 out. And the 2-2 pitch. A sky-high pop. Belt in foul ground. Has it. Well, this was an inning that contained a couple of things that kind of get under your skin. Love Javier Baez, but you got to run. Instant replay makes sense, but not for calls like that. In any case, inning over.
Stop. With that box, you'll be the first to win PlayStation VR. Player 1. Soon, it spreads like wildfire. Humanity becomes so plugged in, we never see them coming. That's why I was sent back to stop you.
Oh, hey, I won.
Right.
The future of gaming starts at Taco Bell. Grab any $5 box and you could be one of the first to win PlayStation VR.
We're gonna prove just how wet and sticky your current gel antiperspirant is. Now, we're gonna show you how Degree Dry Spray is different. Degree Dry Spray. Degree. It won't let you down.
This accountant works for drug cartels, assassins, the secrets this guy has.
Who are you?
The Accountant. Rated R.
Hey, man, why aren't you streaming my game?
Hey, Bryce. I can't. See, I've got Verizon and I've already reached my data limit.
You know this is the postseason, right? Yeah, you could be missing a classic.
You're killing me, man, but look, more data would cost me a fortune.
What if I just hit a walk-off bomb?
Nah, you didn't. Did you?
Why pay more for data limits? Introducing T-Mobile One. Unlimited data for everyone. Get 4 lines, just $35 a month. Welcome to Unlimited Baseball.
As an official partner of David Ortiz, Marucci Sports is proud to release this limited edition David Ortiz Final Game commemorative bat. Only 5,000 of these handcrafted game models will be produced, with each bat individually numbered and engraved with the final stats from Big Papi's illustrious career. Get your very own bat today for just $129.95 plus shipping. To order, call Big Time Bats now at 866-280-BATS or view online at BigTimeBats.com. Commemorate the historic career of David Ortiz. Order now.
Looking sharp, Len. Who's the lucky lady?
I'm going to the bank to discuss a mortgage.
See, you need a loan, you put on a suit, you go crawling to the bank. This is how I dress to get a mortgage. I just go to Lending Tree. I calculate how much home I can afford. I get multiple offers to compare side by side. And the best part is, the banks come crawling to me.
Everything you need to get a better mortgage. Clothing optional. Lending Tree. When banks compete, you win.
Okay.
Awkward.
That toddling town is really toddling these days over their Cubs, and StatCast is powered by Amazon Web Services. See more of MLB's revolutionary tracking technology at MLB.com/StatCast. Mike Montgomery is the pitcher, and Kelby Tomlinson is pinch hitting.
Montgomery has been a great find coming over from Seattle. Good breaking ball, good over-the-top fastball. He's provided some quality innings. Spot start here or there, but going to be utilized out of the bullpen as one of the top left-handers that Madden can go to.
So Conor Gillespie, the hero of the wild card game, with his home run off Familia, is pinch hit for in this situation with the left-hander on the mound. Gillespie, a left-handed batter. Tomlinson can stay in the game and play third base as he leads off here in the 7th. Significant splits between lefties and righties for Tomlinson.
You know, when you see these two teams, it was a good sinker away for a ball. You see these two teams in the 8th position players out on the field. You can make an argument it's 4-4 when you're trying to see who's got the advantage at each position. But then after that, when it comes to the bench, Chicago. Bullpen, Chicago.
That takes care of Tomlinson.
Overall starting staff would be Chicago. And so the 8 position players, they match each other really well. And the Cubs just find ways to do things that, not to mention their 103 wins, they just can beat you in a bunch of ways. So when they went out and got Chapman, a lot of people felt that was the final chapter to a team that could go all the way and have the depth to win the World Series.
Aroldis Chapman threw 21 pitches in finishing up the game last night after 8 brilliant scoreless innings from John Lester. But Madden told us before the game that Chapman is available tonight should he need it.
And I always say the mark of a championship team is you've got to have a defining edge that somebody's afraid of. You've got to have something that makes them affect their strategy and how they play the game.
A chopper towards second. Baez charges, flips, and retires Panic.
Besides all the obvious ones we just talked about, that decided advantage now goes to the bullpen for the Cubs. And you pretty much better have the lead going in late, or you're not going to come away with a come-from-behind victory.
So now Bochy to his bench again. And here's Eduardo Nunez. Nunez missed the last week or so of the regular season with a hamstring injury. And other than pinch hitting duty, Bochy told us he probably would not start a game unless and until this series goes to a game 5, in which case it's a likely reprise of the Lester versus Cueto matchup, and he would start Nunez, assuming he's ready, against the left-hander.
Definitely wanted to see Nunez run a little bit better, enabled him to put him in the lineup as a starter. That pinch hit appearance off of Chapman, the ball that he hit to second base, normally he's going to beat that out. And he did not beat that out and was tentative running to first base.
Hits this one hard to left, but it's right at Zobrist. The Giants go in order in the 7th. They stretch at Wrigley. And when we come back, Chris Bryant will be the second hitter in the bottom half of the inning.
Alexa, ask Uber for a ride.
Okay.
Alexa, pause. Alexa, resume.
Alexa, ask 1-800-Flowers to order Tina Roses.
Okay.
Is your lunch break a race against the clock? You run here, you run there, until everything comes to a screeching halt. Tick, tick, tick. Now is the time for a 5-hour energy protein shot. 21 grams of protein, the energy you need for the rest of your day, and 100 little calories. It's not lunch, it's energy and protein, and a lot faster than fast food. 5-hour energy protein shots. Energy, protein, 100 calories.
We got married in June.
On Tuna Day.
There's a Subway 350 sub of the day to help you remember life's important days. Every day a different 6-inch sub for just $3.50 every day of the week at Subway.
Her name is Terry.
She was born on Sweet
Onion Chicken Teriyaki Day.
What?
Is he gone? Finally! I thought he'd never leave.
Why are you texting my man at 2 a.m.?
If you want someone to leave you alone, you pretend like you're sleeping. It's what you do. If you want to save 15% or more on car insurance, you switch to Geico. It's what you do.
Taking selfies in the kitchen does not make you a model. Okay.
Monday, watch a pivotal NLDS Game 3 live on MLB Network as Bryce Harper, Daniel Murphy, and the NL East champion Washington Nationals battle Corey Seager, Adrian Gonzalez, and the NL West champion Los Angeles Dodgers.
Oh, man!
NLDS Game 3. Nationals, Dodgers. Monday, 4 Eastern, 1 Pacific on MLB Network. Or stream live on MLBNetwork.com and the @Bat app. Telecast presented by Geico.
Tonight's Division Series telecast on MLB Network is presented by Geico with John Smoltz and Ken Rosenthal. Bob Costas at Wrigley Field to the bottom half of the 7th. Top of the order for the Cubs. And Derek Law comes out of the bullpen for the Giants. Good numbers in his rookie season. Between innings, the actor and comedian Jeff Garlin led the singing of Take Me Out to the Ball Game, but no reason at all for Cub fans to curb their enthusiasm. Not tonight and not throughout this season.
Those were $20 bills he was throwing out in the stands.
In anticipation of a World Series share, perhaps.
Well, you see Law, he's got a little bit of a herky-jerky kind of motion, but his fastball plays, curveball, slider, and changeup.
His 2-2 to Fowler runs the count out full. Tomlinson, as we expected, after batting for Gillespie, stays in the game and assumes his position at third base. Down goes Fowler. Foul tipped it back into the glove of Posey. So now here comes Chris Bryant, who for all he has achieved, and he's 1 for 3 tonight, he has an RBI single. He is 7, make it 8 for 40. In 11 postseason games in his young career. So he hasn't really busted loose yet in October. Last year the Cubs won the division series from their nemesis, the Cardinals. Took them in 4 games, then were swept 4 straight by the Mets in the LCS.
Well, for Bryant, just in his 2nd year, already making adjustments. It's an impressive thing to watch a youngster come in. And everyone knows about his power. Everybody knows that he can hit the long ball, and he certainly has done that in 2 years. But he's actually tried to create more arc in the zone. What I mean by that is flattening out his swing a little bit so he can stay on more pitches. But this is the home run distribution. Yes, he's not going to hit a ton to right field. It's primarily going to be to left field. But boy, if you make a mistake with his height and leverage and swing path, he's going to hit a lot more home runs before his career is over.
Belt, the only infielder on the right side. Bryant's 39 home runs this year, the most by a Cub since Derek Lee hit 46 in 2005. 1-2 with Rizzo waiting on deck. Derek Law made his major league debut on April 15th of this season at Dodger Stadium, a game that Clayton Kershaw had started for the Dodgers and Madison Bumgarner for the Giants. And he recorded all 3 outs in his first inning of major league work on strikeouts. Adrian Gonzalez, Howie Kendrick, and Trace Thompson. Auspicious debut. Here's a ball hit hard down the left field line. Question of fair or foul. And the answer does not please Cub fans, except for the one who got the souvenir.
Yeah, Mr. Law tried to sneak something by Chris Bryant. He actually used a quick pitch in his delivery. Watch the last part of this ball. Just hooked left. Just barely missed, being fair, but you're not going to sneak that by. Any mediocre pitch down in the middle part of the plate, his swing is suited for that.
Again on 2-2. And this one somehow gets by Panic. They had him positioned exactly right. They had the shift on. It was hit right at him, and he couldn't field it.
Well, here's what was the pitch before, right? I think if you're Derek Law, you're going to make sure you don't try this again. See the little quick pop? And just even though he got out in front, that's how strong he is. And then he squares up the next pitch, and that's going to be it for Law. This is the pitch later. Eats up Panic.
Bruce Bochy not shy about going to the bullpen. Javier Lopez coming in. Derek Law's done. And we're back after this.
Hey man, why aren't you streaming my game?
Hey Bryce. I can't. See, I've got Verizon and I've already reached my data limit.
You know this is the postseason, right?
Yeah,
you could be missing a classic.
You're killing me, man, but look, more data would cost me a fortune.
What if I just hit a walk-off bomb?
Nah, you didn't. Did you?
Why pay more for data limits? Introducing T-Mobile One. Unlimited data for everyone. Get 4 lines, just $35 a month. Welcome to Unlimited Baseball.
Once you get in the Army, you hear the term Ranger, and you look at it as the highest standards. I was extremely proud to be part of the 1st Ranger Battalion. When I was deployed, I knew that USAA was taking care of my wife when she was back home. And now I know with my son that the USAA will continue to provide the insurance and protection we need.
They always say, you've served your country, so we're here to serve you.
My name is Alejandro Villanueva, and I'm a USAA member for life.
Call USAA today to talk about your insurance needs.
Whether you're wearing layers, beads, stripes, or cheese. If you bleed blue, black and yellow, purple, or various shades of red, this is your beer.
We're gonna prove just how wet and sticky your current gel antiperspirant is. Now, we're gonna show you how Degree Dry Spray is different. Degree Dry Spray. Degree. It won't let you down.
Today we're going to be comparing the roll-form steel bed of the Chevy Silverado to the aluminum bed of this competitor's truck.
Awesome.
First, let's check out the aluminum bed of this truck.
Wow.
Holy moly.
Full on crack here.
Now let's check out the steel bed of the Silverado.
I'd expect more dents. No holes.
It's Truck Month. Find your tag and get over $11,000 total value on this Silverado All-Star. Or now through October 10th, get 0% financing for 72 months on all 2016 Silverado pickups.
Well, here's Javi Lopez, the only active major leaguer with 4 World Series rings. All 3 Giant champions of recent vintage, 2010, 12, and 14, and he was with the Red Sox in 2007. Faces Rizzo.
And truly the definition of a specialty pitcher. You saw the 68 appearances, but only 29 2/3 innings. He's basically just trying to get out one left-hander at a time for the most part. Occasional 2 guys. In this scenario, he's trying to limit the damage that Rizzo can provide at the plate.
In 40 of his 68 regular season appearances this year, Javier Lopez faced only one hitter. To your point.
Well, here's the danger of facing a guy on top of the plate. He's got a lot of areas where it's in the red. That's not good for a pitcher. And the only way he baits you into throwing the ball inside and just says to you, basically, you can't do it 3 times. So the little cold zone, up and in. Everything else, he has a good chance of covering the plate outside of it.
Bryant takes off. Ground ball. Bryant safely at second. Rizzo retired. That's the second out in the Cubs' 7th. Rizzo is now 0 for 4. And in his postseason career, and like Bryant, this is his 11th postseason game, he is 6 for 39. Bryant, who reached on Panic's error, is at second with 2 out. Zobrist switches around to the right side. He's 1 for 3, had an RBI single back in the first. The Cubs have been charged with 3 errors tonight. The miscue by Panic a while ago on a hard hit ball by Bryant that really kind of handcuffed him, but he was charged with an error correctly. That was the first Giant miscue of the night. The Giants have used 6 pitchers now, and the Cubs have used 4. Popped up. Posey. And the Cubs are done in the 7th. 6 outs left to the Giants. Otherwise, they head home down 2 games to none.
If Buster Posey wanted to save money, he wouldn't live off Skybox chicken.
Why is there chicken in the hat?
Shh. He'd save money with Esurance, because Buster's a smart person, and smart people get Esurance. Official sponsor of Major League Baseball.
When Wendy's remodeled their grilled chicken sandwich, marinating the chicken led to overhauling the bun with 7 grains, and so on and so on. Because Wendy's wouldn't stop improving until the new grilled chicken sandwich was deliciously different. And for a limited time, get the combo for just $5.
First, there's shaving, blades, sharp and precise. Then Gillette shielding, comfy lubrication before and after. And also, cooling. Ooh, got goosebumps. Gillette Pro Shield Chill with lubrication before and after the blades. Shields and cools while you shave. Pro Shield Chill from Gillette, the best a man can get. Pro Shield, available with or without chill.
In banking and baseball, you have to stay alert. With my Bank of America mobile banking app, I can select alerts that notify me when unusual activity is detected on my credit and debit cards. I used to play when I was younger. I love the outfield. All that green grass. Until the championship and the inside the park home run. Sure could have used an alert then. I had missed lunch that day.
Nothing worth having comes easy. You have to get up every morning and put in the work.
Give him another.
Time, effort, commitment. These are your tools. You have to understand that there are no shortcuts here. Whether you're playing in the majors or making seriously good bourbon, you know the greatest achievements in life don't just happen. They're earned.
Hendricks breaks his bat, 2 off his glove. Another run home. The Cubs taking a huge bite out of the shark. That's some of what's transpired to this point. Up come the Giants in the 8th, down by 3, in front of a sellout crowd of 42,392. Look at that last note. Travis Wood hit a home run earlier tonight. Only the second home run by a relief pitcher in postseason history, which stands to reason. Relievers don't get hit that often. And through most of baseball history, they were coming in late in games, so they'd be pinch hit for. But I'm sure you know that the only other relief pitcher prior to tonight ever to homer in a postseason game was Rosie Ryan of the then New York Giants in 1924 in the World Series against the Washington Senators. To be perfectly honest, I had no idea. But that is a fact. At least I am told. Still 1-2 to Span. $42,392, as you would expect. Not a seat to be had at Wrigley Field. A chopper. Russell charges and throws him out.
Well, you mentioned that home run, and StatCast, powered by Amazon Web Services, is going to tell you about that home run that Wood hit. Can't be a better jog around the bases. Here are the numbers. Exit velocity like a regular hitter, launch angle, and the distance. Nonetheless, he'll never forget this moment in the playoffs. More than likely, probably be credited with the win as well. If they are able to hold on to this lead.
Hendricks was literally knocked out of the game by a line drive that got a piece of his forearm, although, as we mentioned earlier, the x-rays were negative. And he had not reached 5 innings. Wood came in, pitched effectively, added to the lead with a home run. If it stands up, he is likely to be the winning pitcher.
Well, for the Giants, who are not really built on power, Belt led the team this year with 17 home runs. Of course, many of those lack of homers have to do with their home ballpark. Very spacious, tough to hit home runs.
Belt goes the opposite way, drops it in front of Zobrist for a 1-out single.
Now that hit will probably cause Joe Madden to come out and make another move.
Well, Rondon, who had been their closer, is now the setup man. We mentioned that Chapman threw 21 pitches last night, but you got an off day tomorrow, so he would not be hesitant to use Chapman if he feels the need to do that. But for now, it's Rondon.
Turn the trips you have to take into one you'll never forget. Expedia Plus Rewards. Earn points on over 1 million hotels, flights, and packages.
This beer has conviction. For us, it's Rocky Mountain water or nothing. Coors Banquet. That's how it's done.
It's not just a car, it's your daily retreat. Go ahead, spoil yourself. The ES&DS Hybrid. This is the pursuit of perfection.
If Buster Posey wanted to save money...
Hey, Lenny. Hey, Buster. Got my toothbrush.
He wouldn't live out of his locker.
What are you doing? Doing my socks.
He'd save money with Esurance, because Buster's a smart person, and smart people get Esurance. Official sponsor of Major League Baseball.
We got married in June.
On Tuna Day. There's a Subway 350 sub of the day to help you remember life's important days. Every day a different 6-inch sub for just $3.50 every day of the week at Subway.
Her name is Terry.
She was born on Sweet
Onion Chicken Teriyaki Day.
Here are the 3 postseason games scheduled for tomorrow and where you can find them. Dodgers and Nats on FS1. They were rained out today. They'll try it again tomorrow. And then Indians, Red Sox, and Rangers, Blue Jays on TBS. Hector Rondon began the season as the Cubs closer, became the setup man after the acquisition of Aroldis Chapman. How has that worked out for him? His ERA was under 2 before the Chapman deal. It's 7.71 since his role changed.
Yeah, a little bit had to do with a forearm injury that they gave him some time off, and they're confident that he can get back to that nastiness.
A couple of right-handed hitters. Posey, who's now in an 0-2 hole, and then Pence. So Madden with a logical move here. Waits behind Pence if they can keep the inning going beyond that. Blocked by Contreras. And Belt holds first.
This young kid, he can do it all. Very agile. Of course, everyone knows he's got a great arm, but imagine this guy getting called up playing catcher and outfield, different positions.
Buster's 0 for 3. He's grounded out all 3 times. 2-2.
You just sense the nervousness yesterday in the crowd. They weren't probably thrilled as we watched this pitch miss away, about knowing the pedigree of the San Francisco Giants and what they had drawn in this division series. So far so good for the Cubs fans as they are hoping to go up 2.
And Posey fans 0 for 4 as he walks away.
Now this is just power away at a perfect spot. Even if Posey were to make contact there, I don't know much could be done with the perfect pitch by Rondon.
Now Pence, who singled his first time, then fouled out, grounded out. If the Giants should leave here down 0-2, they might take some solace from the fact that there have been 9 occasions where in a best-of-5 series, be it the old LCS format or more recently in the division series, 9 times when a team down 0-2 has come back to win the next 3. That's out of play.
Well, I can tell you this. One of the great environments here, only matched by the great environment in San Francisco. Their crowd, that ballpark, will be just as loud and will believe just as much in their team because of what they've seen over the last 6 years.
Well, the Giants have done it. They did it to the Reds in 2012, down 0-2. And the Cubs have had it done to them, up 2-0 against the Padres in the LCS in '84. And San Diego won the next 3.
Well, on our telecast tonight, we're introducing PitchCast, powered by MLB Advanced Media. And you see right there at 98 miles an hour, awfully tough to lay off, but Pence has.
That one came humming in at 97, and Pence fouled it back to the screen. 2-2. Chapman is continuing to warm in the Cub bullpen. Could see him in the ninth. Poke towards second. Baez with a little flip to Rizzo, and the Giants are down to 3 outs and down by 3 runs.
Is that iced tea?
Nope, it's lemonade.
Is that iced tea?
Lemonade.
Iced tea?
What's with these people, man? Lemonade. Read the sign. Lemonade. Read it.
Okay.
Delicious.
Iced tea at a lemonade stand? Surprising. What's not surprising? How much money Marin saved by switching to Geico.
No iced tea. It's lemonade, man.
15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
King me.
This must be how Odell Beckham feels when he scores a game-winning touchdown.
Beckham scores. Giants touchdown.
This must be how Rico felt when he triple jumped Mr. Sanchez.
Pepsi.
Turn the trips you have to take into one you'll never forget. Expedia Plus Rewards. Earn points on over 1 million hotels, flights, and packages.
America, all through October, the DQ $5 lunch is now available all day long. Entree, fries, and a drink, plus a world-famous DQ sundae. So buy a DQ $5 lunch and have lunch's best deal all day long. Let $5 freedom ring.
Can you spot the Lee man?
Coffee, anyone?
He works hard until he says,
That's enough. Time to have fun.
and then he crushes having fun so freaking hard. His Lees aren't just jeans to him, they're freedom pants. Every little fiber just cheering him on like, go kill it, Eric, you're the guy. And he likes that. That's why he married a Lee woman. Move your Lee.
Tonight's Division Series telecast on MLB Network is presented by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. And sponsored in part by Lee. Move your Lee. And by the DQ $5 lunch. Now available. Fly ball to center field. Hold on, all you DQ fans. Bernard Span makes the catch. As I was saying, the $5 lunch now available all day for a limited time at DQ. Hunter Strickland is the new pitcher for the Giants. Hoping to do something tonight and beyond to forget his so far ghastly postseason resume. A couple of years ago, he allowed 6 home runs in 8 1/3 innings of work in the 2014 postseason for the Giants. Jason Hayward doubled, flied out, struck out.
Well, you see the fastball velocity. He definitely has that. It's the command issue and then getting a second pitch over. The breaking ball is the key to not just relying on pouring in fastballs. He will give up his share of fly balls, and as you mentioned, a few too many home runs in the condensed playoff.
Jason Hayward with a drive to center field. Denard Span glides under it. Well, Smoltz, today and tonight marks the 60th anniversary of Don Larson's perfect game in the World Series, Game 5 for the Yankees against the Brooklyn Dodgers, October 8, 1956. This has not been a perfect game. There have been some misplays, but the Cubs may leave here with the perfect outcome, the best their fans could hope for.
Yeah, the Cubs are doing everything they're supposed to do. After winning a tight game last night, they came out, they took the pressure off of their starting pitcher by getting some runs. And Samardzija didn't create any separation between his fastball. And that's one thing you can't do against the Cubs lineup. You've got to be able to throw secondary stuff. He wasn't able to do it. Dug a hole for the Giants, and so far they have not come back.
Well, the question is, was there a message in that pitch? Baez's body language says he thinks maybe. The boos from the crowd suggest that some of them think maybe. What do you think?
I'm just impressed he got out of the way. He's so agile. He's shaking his head thinking maybe because of his last couple swings, but
well, he was Cadillacing it a little bit, both last night and tonight. Maybe it's old school, but for whatever reason, there's still some in baseball who don't like it.
Well, I just think the fact that you're also trying to make the guy a little uncomfortable, that is got a pretty free swing and an aggressive swing at the plate.
Well, tonight he has walked, struck out swinging, and then what could have been a double was turned into a single when, upon replay review, he was shown to have come off the bag for a split second while they held the tag on him. Then he was out, although he had beaten the throw. A called strike 3. So Strickland comes in, puts a good bottom of the 8th in the books, keeps it reasonably close. It is a save situation, and that means Chapman will be called upon to close it out.
We got married in June.
On Tuna Day. There's a Subway 350 sub of the day to help you remember life's important days. Every day a different 6-inch sub for just $3.50 every day of the week at Subway.
Her name is Terry.
She was born on Sweet
Onion Chicken Teriyaki Day.
I'm going to make this as simple as possible for you. You can go ahead and stick with that complicated credit card that limits where you earn bonus cash back. Or you can get the Quicksilver card from Capital One. Quicksilver earns you unlimited 1.5% cash back on every purchase, everywhere. I shouldn't have to ask. What's in your wallet?
Heineken Light makes it okay to flip another man's meat.
No. You never flip another man's meat.
Award-winning Heineken Light is the best light beer you've ever tasted.
That's true. Can I have one?
Can I flip your meat?
No.
Suit yourself.
Alexa, ask Uber for a ride.
Okay.
Alexa, pause. Alexa, resume.
Alexa, ask 1-800-Flowers to order Tina Roses.
Okay.
I'm Eli Manning. Check out the games on NFL Sunday Ticket this weekend while I spike this football really hard.
Tom Brady returns for the Patriots to face Gary Barnidge and the Browns. Julio Jones and the Falcons meet Von Miller and the Broncos. And Andy Dalton and the Bengals take on Dak Prescott and the Cowboys. Jets at Steelers, Redskins at Ravens, Texans at Vikings. You get every game.
Call Call 1-800-GET-SPORTS and get NFL Sunday Ticket to watch games anywhere, live every Sunday.
The new face of HR is surprisingly human, so give your employees a more human HR platform, namely payroll, benefits, talent management, and more. Our software makes it easy.
It's the best system I've ever used for anything related to operating a business. Everyone's interested in using it, and I get all my information.
You can really focus on strategy and content, which is really great for an HR director.
Namely, HR for humans. Schedule your free demo today at namely.com.